Today is January the 29th, 2025, and we're hearing that Guantanamo Bay will be housing 30,000 criminal illegal aliens per a executive order that's going to be coming from Trump. As you can see here, let's take a look at the latest headlines. Trump moves to prepare Guantanamo Bay for 30,000 criminal illegal aliens. Trump says it's a tough place to get out of. This coming out today, January the 29th, 2025. Now, this comes as Trump has signed his first bill of his second presidency, the Laken-Riley Act, into law. So as we saw him speak today, we actually caught this live in this morning's live stream. He signed this, and while he was signing this, he had made this announcement about Guantanamo Bay. So illegal aliens, we're going to get the details on this, are going to be now shipped out to Guantanamo. And take a look at this. An initial show of force, what to know about immigration raids, arrests across the country that are happening. And as you can see, Trump administration gives ICE a quota of 1,800 arrests per day across the United States. They are saying, lock them up, get them out of here. We've had enough of these illegal aliens that are coming over, many of which are criminals. They are focused on getting the most violent, horrendous criminals out of here immediately. They're sending them out on military planes. ICE is there. I shared with you earlier today, we had seen video footage of these taking place, and it is happening all over the nation. And also, I let you know, if you haven't heard, President Trump is also going to be signing an executive order to deport pro-Hamas visa holders. If you are here on a visa and they have seen you out there protesting pro-Hamas, anti-Israeli, anti-America protests, well, pack your bags. You're going to be getting out of here too. So I'm going to be sharing with you these articles and the latest video footage on this. We're going to be taking a look as Donald Trump made this announcement today. I'm going to share it with you, and you're going to see what is going on as of today, January the 29th, 2025. And let me know your thoughts. Are you glad to see Donald Trump taking care of business? Are you glad to see a president in office who is fulfilling his promises in the first week of being in office, getting things done? And we also saw he has already given the report on the drones, many of which most people were not happy with because there was not a whole lot of information. But still, he is doing the things that he has said he was going to do. And if you're glad to see that, go ahead and drop a 47 in the comments and hit that like button for me. That helps out a ton. So before we dive in, do me a quick favor. Like I said, hit that like button. Help spread this out further across the YouTube platform so more people can see the latest updates. They can see that Donald Trump's executive order is coming, that he's going to be housing some of these illegal immigrants in Guantanamo Bay, 30,000 to be exact. And he is saying that if you are a pro-Hamas supporter in the United States and you're here on a visa, pack your bags, you're next. And I see all those 47s pouring in as people are saying they are glad to see it. And I got to say, my personal opinion, I'm glad to see it as well. I think that I mentioned this before. We can't have open borders. And if there are criminals entering into our nation that are threatening the innocent, the young, the elderly, they got to go. Let's get them out of here. And we need to secure our borders, make sure that America is safe for all the residents here, and sign the Laken-Riley Act. And also, if you are over here on a visa and you are stupid enough to talk bad about the nation that you are visiting, I dare you to try that in some of the other nations. If the roles were switched, you can't even do that in some other nations. Here we have the freedom of speech, which is totally fine. But if you're promoting groups that we identify as terrorist groups, and you're burning American flags and doing all these things that are anti-Israel, anti-America, pack your bags, you're leaving. And I think that that is 100% on point. Now, let me know if you agree or disagree. If you agree, drop an A for agree. If you disagree, put a D. But I, for one, am very glad to see Donald Trump in office, taking care of business, putting America first, and making sure that we are helping our American citizens. And like I said, not that we don't want to help other people, but they need to go through the correct process. We need to verify them, make sure that they are here for the right reasons, that they're here. We want to bring in those for asylum, those that want better economic opportunities for themselves and their families. But we can't just let people pour in unvetted and not know who they are, what they're doing here, and potentially committing all of these evil crimes. Useful Idiot, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you noticed that you can trespass into our country, but you cannot trespass into the Capitol building? Thank you for that $5 super chat, useful idiot. I appreciate that a ton, and that $5 does also, the super chats help spread this out further as well. So thank you so much for that. But I see all those A's pouring in saying they agree, and yes, and to me, like I said, I try to take it and think about it on a micro scale. I think it's really hard to think about it on a macro scale, like protecting the entire nation. But think about it like it's your own house. I mean, are you going to leave the doors and the windows wide open for anybody just to walk in and then just assume that whoever walks in is not going to do harm to you and your family or try to steal your things? No, that's ridiculous. You close the doors, you secure everything. Also, I welcome guests into my house. I want to be hospitable and have friends come in, but I'm going to give them an invitation. I'm going to have them come in through the front door, and I'm going to make sure that before I present them into my living space and show them where I live and introduce them to my family, that they are not a threat. It's the exact same process that we have to deal with. And yes, we do have a lengthy process to go through the legal way of entering into the nation, but that's just the process they're going to have to do, because right now we are at a time where there is a heightened threat against the United States. And so this is something that needs to be done for the protection of the U.S. people, especially after the past 4 years of the horrendous, atrocious policies of the Biden administration, the failed administration that has left things wide open for people to just pour in. Thankful to see some changes with the United States and policies. So I see a lot of people saying that they agree, and I think that is absolutely correct. W Money says he thinks that's a crappy analogy. I think that's a great analogy, so I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that's a good analogy or not? But I think that's fairly accurate, to be 100% honest. Maybe crappy analogy, or W Money is upset for some reason. Maybe he's going to be deported. I don't know. But whatever the case is, we're going to make sure that we are keeping America safe. And like I said, you can choose to disagree or agree, totally fine. I've got no problem with it. Regardless, I'm going to make sure that I let you guys know exactly what's going on. So as you guys know, I am going to go ahead and put these articles on the screen, read right from them. They're hyperlinked down in the description below. I try to cite all the sources, hold myself to the highest level of accountability, so that way you can rest assured and know that this is the latest information coming out. So this is going to be available to you, linked down in the description below, along with additional resources as well. So let's go ahead and take a look here at this, and let's start off with some video footage so that way you can see it for yourself. This coming out today, January the 29th, 2025. Breaking: Trump announces executive order to create 30,000 person migrant facility at Guantanamo Bay. Let's go ahead and take a look.
They're going to take it back, and they're going to like it. Today I'm also signing an executive order to instruct the Departments of Defense and Homeland Security to begin preparing the 30,000 person migrant facility at Guantanamo Bay. Most people don't even know about it. We have 30,000 beds in Guantanamo to detain the worst criminal illegal aliens threatening the American people. Some of them are so bad we don't even trust the countries to hold them because we don't want them coming back, so we're going to send them out to Guantanamo. This will double our capacity immediately, right? And that's a tough place to get out of. Today's signings bring us one step closer to eradicating the scourge of migrant crime in our communities once and for all. And it was just it's just an unforced error that we even have to be doing this. Now we need Congress to provide full funding for the complete and total restoration of our sovereign borders, as well as financial support to remove record numbers of illegal aliens. And these are illegal alien killers, criminals at levels that nobody's ever seen before. And you would have known that, and you were there when I said it. I said everybody that's bad is going to be thrown. If you look at Venezuela, Venezuela's crime is down 77% because they've taken their gang members, their prisoners, their drug dealers, their drug lords. They've shipped them all into the United States. Many other countries, their crime is way down, and our crime is not doing well. But we're going to have it do really well very soon, and we're shipping all these people back where they came from.
There you have it, you guys. That was Donald Trump. He said we're shipping them back where they came from, but some of these nations can't even be trusted with that. He said, so we're going to open up Guantanamo Bay. We're going to have a 30,000 person migrant facility that's going to be at Guantanamo Bay. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at an article so that way you can see a little bit more information. This coming out today, the 29th, as I mentioned. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. This article says President Donald Trump announced Wednesday that he would instruct the Pentagon to prepare Guantanamo Bay to detain 30,000 criminal illegal aliens. Today, I'm also signing an executive order to instruct the Departments of Defense and the Homeland Security to begin preparing the 30,000-person migrant facility at Guantanamo Bay, Trump said. Most people don't even know about it. It was later learned that Trump signed a presidential memorandum, not an executive order, on the matter. Now, he said there are 30,000 beds at Guantanamo to house the detainees who pose a threat to the American public, adding that putting them there will ensure that they do not come back. Some of them are so bad, we don't even trust their countries to hold them because we don't want them coming back, Trump said. We're going to send them to Guantanamo. Oh, so he said that these individuals are so bad that they can't be trusted to be held in their own countries. He added, it's a tough place to get out of. The president said the move will bring the United States one step closer to eradicating the scourge of migrant crime in communities once and for all. He also called on Congress to provide full funding for the complete and total restoration of U.S. borders and financial support to remove record numbers of illegal aliens. And here you can see some of those raids that were taking place. ICE San Francisco on Thursday arrested Ariel Rene Romis Potino, a citizen of Mexico who is allegedly unlawfully present in the United States. Now, Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel called Trump's move to send 30,000 migrants to Guantanamo an act of brutality. In an act of brutality, the new U.S. government announces the imprisonment at the Guantanamo Naval Base located in illegally occupied territory, Cuba, of thousands of migrants that it forcibly expels and will place them next to the well-known prisons of torture and illegal detention, he said in a translated post on X. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem told Fox News on the Will Cain Show on Wednesday today that Guantanamo Bay is already being used to house illegal immigrants, particularly the worst of the worst. She confirmed Trump's mission to use resources to expand the capabilities of Guantanamo. And she said that her department will make sure resources are placed there to ensure there is enough space to get criminal illegal aliens out of the United States. Also appearing on Kane's show was his former colleague and now Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, who was stationed at the facility from 2004 to 2005. Hegseth explained that Gitmo is the perfect option for rounding up tens of thousands of illegal aliens and sending them back to their countries of origin with proper processing. He said it is better to be held in a safe location like Guantanamo Bay, which was built for this. On Tuesday, the Trump administration rolled out a social media thread highlighting the latest apprehensions conducted by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, as the president's immigration crackdown became a reality. 969 total illegal immigration arrests by ICE were recorded yesterday, January the 27th, 2025, the White House shared on X. Here are some of the worst. The post shows 9 different illegal immigrants who have already been convicted of crimes such as various things, who have alleged links to gangs, terrorist organizations, and serious crimes. Trump's 2024 campaign promised to curb illegal immigration that skyrocketed under the Biden administration. The 47th president promised to deport migrants, including those who had a long rap sheet of ties to gangs or terrorist organizations. Now, on the first day of his second term, Trump issued 10 executive orders aimed at overhauling U.S. immigration law and policy. After less than a week back in the Oval Office, Trump said that he is keeping his promises. His executive orders include sealing the U.S. asylum system for those without proper documents, discharging the military with deporting immigration violators, and tasking ICE with removing migrants. Since Trump's inauguration on January 20th, armed federal immigration agents have swept cities in the first deportation raids. Over the last week, the Department of Homeland Security and law enforcement officials have removed and returned 7,300 illegal aliens. Wow. So there you have it. They are getting busy. They actually are, I think, if I read correctly, having a quota of like 1,800 a day. So taking care of business. I see somebody saying kicking butt all day long. Yes, it does look like that. They are putting them away. So if you are a illegal alien that has come over and you are committing heinous crimes, or you're a criminal and you came over, you are no longer going to be in the United States. It's not long. They are coming for you. So pack your bags and get ready. Now this comes, and he made this announcement. The video footage that we actually watched was when he was signing the Laken-Riley Act into law. So take a look here. He actually signed this. President Trump signed the Laken-Riley Act into law on Wednesday, expanding the scope of those who can be arrested, detained, or deported by federal immigration officers. The bill is the first of Trump's second presidency to become law, and it comes at a time when he is promising stricter enforcement of immigration laws and increased deterrence to legal migration. It passed with bipartisan support, marking a major shift for Democrats who did not advance the legislation in the Senate last year. Trump nodded to that bipartisan support in his afternoon remarks, thanking Democrats for helping him to get this measure through. It's a landmark law that we are doing today. It will save countless innocent American lives, Trump said. In one of his first official appearances, Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, she attended the bill signing, as did several Republican senators who championed the measure. Pennsylvania Democrat John Fetterman, who was the first Democrat to co-sponsor the bill in the Senate, joined as well. The law may expand who can be deported, but implementation is a challenge. The measure directs federal immigration enforcement to detain and deport those without legal status charged with minor theft or shoplifting, assault of law enforcement officers, or crimes resulting in loss of life or serious bodily injury of another person. Several criminal offenses could already be grounds for deportation. And indeed, Carolyn Leavitt, the White House press secretary, said Tuesday that those who had broken the law by entering the country illegally, they have already committed a crime. Critics of the measure argue that the act skips the current practice of waiting until someone is convicted before considering removal process. Excuse me. The bill is named for the Georgia nursing student who lost her life last year by a Venezuelan man in the United States without legal status. Her loss of life became a rally cry for Republicans who criticized the Biden administration's approach to border security. The man, Jose Ibarra, was later sentenced to life in prison without parole. He had previously been charged with shoplifting in New York. Republicans argue this law would have enabled his deportation earlier and would have prevented Riley losing her life. Riley's parents and sister were at the White House for the signing. Riley's mother, Allison Phillips, spoke briefly, thanking lawmakers and the president for pushing the bill in her daughter's name over the finish line. Supporters of immigration point to research that shows immigrants commit fewer crimes than those born in the United States. Implementing the law may be a challenge for the Immigration and Custom Enforcement, one of the agencies responsible for deportations. ICE is also now responsible for newly implemented arrest quotas. Earlier this month, ICE sent a memo to lawmakers warning that implementation of the bill was impossible to execute with existing resources. In the first year, the agency said that it would cost them $26 billion to implement across personal costs, increase the detention resources, transportation, and more. The agency also warned in a December memo that it would need additional ICE officers and predicted facing barriers with local jurisdictions such as state and local enforcement that might not cooperate. It also made clear that there might be a shortage of detention space to house offenders. And so that is why we're hearing he is saying, well, let's go ahead and open up Guantanamo Bay. So they are saying that they are planning to open that up and make it available so that way they can house some of these criminals, the worst of the worst, but they are doing mass deportations at this time. And here's an initial show of force, what to know about immigration raids, arrests across the country. And you can see those planes that are shipping them out, those military planes flying them out of the nation. President Donald Trump's crackdown on immigration has taken center stage in the first days of his second term. from his sweeping order of birthright citizenship to growing numbers of raids across the country. The Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency is even publicizing its daily total of arrests, which added up to 3,104 in the past 3 days alone and more than 4,500 since Thursday. Stricter enforcement of the nation's immigration laws isn't a new development. President Joe Biden's administration deported more than 271,000 people last year, the largest number since 2014, according to ICE reports. The president has repeatedly said his administration will prioritize deporting undocumented immigrants with criminal history. In recent days, some local officials have emphasized that focus. Austin Police Chief Lisa Davis said, "At the end of the day, these are people APD would be looking for as well. They were wanted for violent offenses." So again, they're saying this is the priority. They are sending out the people that are committing heinous crimes against the American public. Still, White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt was asked at a news briefing how many of those arrests by ICE since Trump returned to power actually have criminal records. All of them because they illegally broke our nation's law and therefore they are criminals as far as the administration goes, Leavitt said. Here's USA Today's networks looks at the states that have seen major immigration actions in recent days. Texas, the state sharing the largest border with Mexico, figure to the site of multiple raids, and those were carried out last weekend in cities like Houston, San Antonio, Austin, Laredo, among others, according to the Austin American-Statesman. The newspaper pointed out other federal agencies besides ICE were also involved, including the FBI, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and drug enforcement agencies. No arrest totals were immediately available, but Texas Public Radio reported 84 ICE arrests in the Dallas metropolitan area. Davis, Austin's police chief, said that while her department was not involved in the operations, federal officials told her that they had focused on wanted violent offenders. Jorge Vela, a defense lawyer in the city who has represented clients accused of committing violent crimes while in the United States illegally, said that's common practice. "This is nothing new so far from what I've seen," Vela told the American Statesman. "It's just that more resources are being devoted to that, and this feels like an initial show of force." And there you can see, we actually saw the interview with Kristi Noem earlier today. There she is with the ICE as they are preparing to get these violent criminals out of the United States. Colorado, agents from a handful of federal agencies combined to arrest more than 40 people in the country illegally earlier Sunday during a raid in Adams County. The local Office of Drug Enforcement and Administration said. The office shared on social media the operation targeted at drug trafficking and members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Agua. Drugs, weapons, and cash, they were seized in Adams County. Nearly 50 illegal aliens were taken into custody. Now, TV reported an investigation that led to the raid that began under the Biden administration. Several media reports indicated federal authorities were zeroing on nearby Aurora, which Trump claimed was overrun by Venezuelan gangs during the presidential campaign. Also, Illinois. Chicago officials said on Tuesday that at least 100 people have been detained as immigration-related operations ramped up across the country. We don't have an exact number of Chicago people who have been detained, but what I can tell you is that the number in the Chicagoan area exceeds 100, said Police Chief Department Superintendent Larry Snelling at a news conference Tuesday, adding that the arrests have occurred in the city as well as surrounding suburbs. Snelling, who reiterated that Chicago's officers will not assist federal immigration officers, did not describe the operations in detail, but said that he received notifications before the detentions took place. He indicated the arrests appear to be targeted, saying, "We have not seen federal agents running through Chicago looking for children, going to work locations, or grabbing people." At least one of the raids was attended by border czar Tom Homan and television personality Dr. Phil, who documented an arrest on a live stream. And let me know, did you see that? I actually saw that. Dr. Phil out there with the ICE team speaking to one of the people that they captured. So a lot of people, as I mentioned, are on board with this. We're hearing about 88% of those polled in the United States, doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat, They're saying they support this. This is a good thing. We need to get these violent criminals out. We already have issues with criminals that are from the United States, but we don't need to also have criminals pouring in that are from other countries that want to be here and do crimes as well. So let's get them out of here, ship them out, or send them to Guantanamo, as Trump is saying. Excuse me. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson criticized what he called the Trump administration's desire to popularize fear and said, "We will continue to protect civil and human rights, and we welcome all individuals and families who want to work and live and thrive here in our beloved city." Let me know your thoughts on this. I actually think the opposite of Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. I think that this is not popularizing fear. If anything, I've heard people say that this makes them feel more safe than ever before, that we are seeing this taking place, and they are primarily focused on people with criminal records, not individuals who want to work, live, and thrive in your city. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with Donald Trump on this, or do you agree with Mayor Johnson? If you agree with Trump, drop those 47s. If you agree with Johnson, put a 48 for not agreeing with Trump. Let me know your thoughts. Also, Florida, we're seeing the Department of Homeland Security investigations in Tallahassee. In collaboration with the Florida Highway Patrol, they detained 12 suspects, undocumented immigrants, Tuesday in Jefferson County, the Tallahassee Democrat reports. The FHP posted photos of the operation, saying, "We are ready and willing to follow the governor's lead and work with the federal partners to execute the Trump illegal immigration mandate." And I'm seeing all those 47s pouring in as people are saying they agree with Donald Trump. On Sunday, the ICE office in Miami said that it had separately arrested a Nicaraguan resident and a Jamaican resident on multiple charges. New Jersey as well. New York, lots in New York, I'm guessing. Let's see how many they say. Let's just take a look and see very quickly. I'm not going to read through all of these. This is going to take quite a while, but let me see if I can just find the numbers for you. In Newark, ICE agents raiding a local business without a warrant Thursday detained not only undocumented immigrants, but American citizens as well, the mayor said. The U.S. has detained one of the detainees is a U.S. military veteran who suffered the indignity of having the legitimacy of military documentation questioned, she said. So New York, officials in New Jersey, which has 500,000 undocumented residents and about 2 million immigrants in all. Wow, they have about 500,000 in New Jersey. Doesn't say how many were taken into custody. New York, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem joined immigration officers as they arrested several people in New York City this week, posting several videos and photos of the operations on social media, arresting some criminal aliens this morning in NYC. "Thank you to the brave officers involved," she said on X. Criminal alien with kidnapping, assault, and burglary charges is now in custody thanks to ICE. Dirt bags like this will continue to be removed from our streets. New York Mayor Eric Adams said that the city worked with the Department of Homeland Security to nab Anderson Zambrano and Zambrano Pacheco, 26, who officials say has alleged ties to the Venezuelan gang Tren del Aguas. Adams said that he was hiding in New York City and was connected with multiple violent crimes, including burglary, kidnapping, extortion, firearms possession, and menacing with firearms, among other charges. Wow. They are getting these guys. California. Federal agencies working in California pledged cooperation in immigration enforcement operations and posted photos on social media of people being taken into custody. The DEA, along with the Justice Department, is assisting the Department of Homeland Security and other federal law enforcement partners with their immigration enforcement efforts. Today, our agents conducted enhanced targeted operations throughout LA, they said. The Department of Homeland Security investigations in LA posted a similar message, saying agencies, including the FBI, are conducting enhanced law enforcement operations in accordance with the directives from the administration and in alignment with its established priorities, they said. The Drug Enforcement Administration field office in San Diego said the agency was assisting other federal agencies with immigration enforcement in a post on X that included several photos of officers detaining people. Meanwhile, the state and local officials throughout the state have notified their constituents of operations by immigration authorities. And you can see also they're saying downtown San Francisco, San Jose, all these various cities, they are capturing these individuals. So, man, putting them away. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And here's another one that says Trump actually is giving ICE a quota, saying you need to capture 1,800 per day. Let's get them out. Now, this article says that the Trump administration is demanding at least 1,800 arrests per day from Immigration and Customs Enforcement, setting a quota of 75 bus minimum for each of the agency's 25 offices, according to multiple sources. ICE has made more than 4,500 arrests since Trump's return to office and has conducted raids in major sanctuary cities, including New York, Denver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Boston, according to agency data. Now, the White House is pressing the agency to ramp up even more. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller confirmed the quota on CNN Tuesday. So first of all, the numbers you cited are a floor, not a ceiling. Very important. They are a floor. The goal is to arrest at least that many, but hopefully many, many more, they said. Trump administration officials expect ICE to now make between 1,200 and 1,500 arrests per day nationwide, according to the Washington Post. An ICE official told the outlet that the agency already possesses a lengthy list of criminal illegal immigrants, making the task of meeting quotas very simple. There you can see them arresting these individuals. We're hearing these are illegal immigrants with criminal records. They're saying these are the worst, most violent, heinous crimes that have been committed. They're particularly going after these individuals. ICE didn't immediately respond to the Post's request for comments. On Tuesday morning, Acting Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem joined ICE, Homeland Security Investigations, and Drug Enforcement Administration agents during pre-dawn arrests of illegal migrant criminals across the Big Apple. The operation led to a successful arrest of an alleged violent Tren del Agua ringleader who was on the run after the infamous caught-on-camera apartment break-in in Aurora, Colorado, per sources. Now, Anderson Zambrano Pacheco, 25, I think the previous article said 27, was nabbed by heavily armed Homeland Security investigation officers who stormed an Ogden Avenue apartment building in the Bronx, which is located just across the street from PS 11, the High Bridge School, sources say. Trump's border czar Tom Homan, who accompanied the feds for the raid in Chicago on Sunday, says ICE is prioritizing the arrests of illegal immigrants with criminal records who pose threats to the country. I think the president's happy, but we're going to make him a lot happier, Hammond said in Fox News about the raids. We're not going to let up. We're going to put out our foot. We're going to put our foot out on the gas, and we are going to go. Wow. So there you have it, you guys. They are addressing all of these illegal immigrants that have criminal records that are here in the United States, and they are shipping them out. And ICE, they are not playing around. They are taking care of business. Man, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let's see here. What do we got? I see Elgin is putting a 47 with flags. Confidential is saying deport the squad. Strategy is saying just hide for 4 years and then you'll be safe. What do you think? Punky, my video, is saying floor it. Somebody, Mike Miller, saying let's go Trump. Whoop whoop. Yes. So a lot of people very happy that Donald Trump is taking care of business, making good on his promises, getting things done. And also, as I mentioned, and I mentioned this earlier for you guys, we've also heard that President Trump is now saying that he is going to be signing an executive order to deport pro-Hamas visa holders to get them out. Take a look at this, you guys. President Donald Trump, coming out 2 minutes ago, President Donald Trump will sign an executive order Wednesday, January the 29th, aimed at combating anti-Semitism in the United States, according to multiple reports. The order includes measures to deport individuals in the country illegally who broke laws during pro-Palestinian protests. The order will direct federal agencies to identify legal options for taking action against pro-Hamas supporters. It will also require leaders to submit recommendations to the White House within 60 days. Justice Department to investigate pro-Hamas activity. The executive order also directs the Department of Justice to investigate pro-Hamas graffiti and acts of intimidation, particularly on college campuses. This follows the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel and the subsequent Israeli invasion of Gaza, targeting non-U.S. citizens participating in protests. The order specifically targets non-U.S. citizens living in the United States on green cards or visas, including students who took part in pro-Hamas protests. This comes after a report from 6 Republican-led House committees last month, which called for stricter policies against anti-Semitism at colleges receiving federal funding. Columbia University focus of congressional reports. Columbia University was singled out in the report for incidents involving anti-Jewish remarks and protests. The university's actions became the focal point of a call for heightened scrutiny of campuses where anti-Semitism is prevalent. Trump's ongoing efforts to combat support for terrorism. This executive order aligns with Trump's previous calls to deport pro-Hamas students. Just last week, he signed another executive order aimed at preventing foreign nationals in the United States from supporting designated terrorist groups. Now, the debate on hate speech and federal laws. While hate speech is generally protected under the U.S. law, the House GOP report argues that federal law prohibits discrimination at institutions that receive taxpayer funding. The report suggests this could allow the government to enforce stricter policies leveraging billions of dollars in federal funds tied to these institutions. So there you have it. President Trump to sign an executive order to deport pro-Hamas green card holders. So for those of you that are here and are protesting in the streets, saying death to America, death to Israel, from the river to the sea, or, all those things, yet don't have the courage to show your face. You got to cover it up because you don't want to be seen, which to me is very telling. It says a lot. I mean, like, if you can't say what it is that you feel like you believe without covering your face, there's something interesting there. That means that I could see that if you were in a location in a country that doesn't have freedom of speech, but if you're doing that in a place of freedom of speech, it probably means that you're ashamed of what you're doing and you're a coward not showing your face. I see a lot of them wearing masks and shades and things like that, and I think it's because they know deep down inside that they're supporting a terrorist organization that had committed horrendous crimes on October 7th. And I think that if you are here and you are promoting that, and you are shouting death to America, death to Israel, burning American flags, blocking traffic, let's get them out of here. We do not want you here. That's just my opinion. Let me know if you agree or disagree. But I think that I mentioned earlier some of the legislation that I was thinking about proposing as well. But I see Creole Queen is also saying that they are cowards. Totally agree. I feel like it's pretty cowardly, pretty disgusting, what unfolded and what they're trying to promote and push. So, and some people don't even realize that these particular groups, these are terrorist groups that want to commit heinous crimes, not only against Israel, but against the United States. So I'd say get them out, and especially if they're not even citizens here. But Donald Trump is taking care of it. He is cleaning up, just like I'm seeing Michaela is saying, McCurry, or Michael Lee, excuse me. And so Donald Trump is keeping busy. So like I said, though, a lot is going on. I'll be sure to keep you guys up to speed here on the channel. I will cite all the sources, put it on the screen, read right from it. And if you appreciate that, don't forget, take a quick second, hit that like button for me, subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. Why not? And also, like I mentioned, there is a lot taking place. So as things come out, I'll be sure to hop on and get you updates live. Not as many videos right now because I'm trying to recover from, I've got like the flu or COVID or something. Feeling a lot better. I'm on my way up, but definitely still low on energy. Thank you for all the well wishes and support. I appreciate it a ton. And also, if you didn't hear, I did submit my application to the White House to see if I could become a member of the press, sit in on some of the White House press briefings with the new press secretary. So we will see whether I get it or not. I'll let you guys know as soon as I find out if I get a response from the White House. But you guys, that is the latest. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.